During this video, if ever you feel afraid, wondering whether or not you're alone in front of your computer or on your phone, and that someone or something may be watching you, just close your eyes and do what I say. Think of the things you believe in and love. Remember all of your happy memories and imagine the good person that you might just become someday. Now repeat after me. Or, if you can't do that, just say the following in your head until it touches your soul. I am the hammer, the tip of the spear. I am the sword in his hand, and the knuckles on his fist. I am the bane of his foes, and the woes of the treacherous. I am enemy to all demonkind, and destroyer of all things unholy. I am the end. Hi, hello, and welcome again everybody to another episode of Natural Juan. This time around, we're going to discuss a fairly recent film entitled Incantation, and how I think it actually relates to the lore of the tabletop wargame Warhammer 40,000, specifically how it could be easily associated with the chaos god Nurgle, and how it can be considered a fan prequel of sorts, the same way that Event Horizon was. Anyway, before all that, I'd like to invite you all to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell for notifications if you would like to see more content like this. Special shout out too to Mr. Jonathan Green, my patron in Patreon. If you would also like to support my channel and what I do here, please check out my Patreon, PayPal, and Gcash information in the description below. Alright, with all that out of the way, let us travel down the dark tunnel of fandom speculation and find out the things that may link both Incantation and Warhammer 40,000. Okay, before we begin, I know that most of you might watch this might not be that familiar with Warhammer 40,000, so be sure to check my other content regarding it. In any case, I will go over the Chaos God Nurgle, also known as the Plague Father, the Lord of Decay, or simply Grandfather Nurgle, who, from my own speculation, could be associated with the Mother Buddha, the evil deity of the Incantation film. To make things quick, Nurgle is the chaos god of disease, death, and decay. He is associated with plagues, specifically the most visible or foul-smelling ones, repulsive vermin like worms, flies, and other insects, and a constant cycle of living things dying and then becoming host to other living beings, such as scavengers and parasites. However, what is most ironic about the Lord of Decay is that he is almost never depicted as a grim figure by his own followers. In fact, they portray him as the polar opposite. According to those who follow him, Nurgle is a jovial and magnanimous deity, blessing not just those who worship and adore him, but even those who would consider him an enemy. This wouldn't be so bad if his blessings weren't actually curses, like Nurgle's rot or the bloom. Nurgle is also associated with the concept of acceptance, as in accepting that not everyone is beautiful, as well as that of community, especially the kind that unites people because of a common crisis, such as an epidemic. That said, while there is nothing wrong with embracing one's flaws, Nurgle's creed is nothing but flaws, and that the sense of community the Plague Father fosters is one that includes many unwilling victims. And do take note that it is more or less a form of Stockholm Syndrome, since the crisis that unites his people is something he created himself. Anyway, now for the film itself. Incantation is a Taiwanese film directed by Kevin Ko and directed by Chang Che-wei. It stars Tsai Suan-yan in the lead role along with Huang Xin-ting and featuring RQ. It is a found footage film in a similar vein to the Blair Witch Project and is anachronistic in narrative with various flashbacks occurring as the movie runs its course. It is available on Netflix for those who are interested in seeing what it is actually about. Now, according to the filmmakers themselves, this film is actually inspired by a bizarre and awful incident involving a family in Kaohsiung in 2005. Apparently, while they were once an otherwise normal and unassuming family, they were suddenly caught up in a strange fit of hysteria and engaged in all manner of gruesome and disgusting acts, including torturing each other, engaging in coprophilia, and accusing each other of being possessed by demons masquerading as gods. Police then intervened when one member of the family died due to the bizarre behavior and the strange acts they committed against one another. As for the actual movie, Incantation centers around a young mother named Lee Ronan and her daughter Dodo. I will warn you though that there are a lot of spoilers ahead, so if you'd rather see the movie yourself first, go watch it before returning for the rest of this video. Anyway, I will also make the narration a little bit more linear in order to be more easily understood. While this isn't shown or graced upon in the English version of the film, it is revealed that the curse itself originated from China, when a poor family just wanted to get ahead in life. The family then sought out an entity that could help them, but, long story short, it gave them great fortune on the onset, but gave them terrible luck in exchange for its gifts. This entity called itself the Mother Buddha, and requires the people it fooled into worshipping it to spread its curse or misfortune to others so as to dilute its effects. Fast forward to the present day, a group of vloggers calling themselves Strange Murmurs comes upon a small community atop a mountain in the more rural parts of Taiwan. They are comprised of an otherwise well-meaning man named Dom, a somewhat reluctant woman who happens to be a younger Ronan, and a cocky and irreverent man-boy Yuan. To summarize, the members of the community turn out to be Dom's relatives, who are at first unwilling to allow Ronan into their village due to their strange traditions, but change their mind upon learning that the young woman is pregnant with Dom's child. Unknown to the newcomers is that they actually planned on making the unborn child a sacrifice to their Mother Buddha. Through a combination of wits, a newfound friend in the form of a small child who might also be a sacrifice, and Yuan's childish antics, Ronan is able to escape the community, but the cost of her friends' lives, likely including the child she had also befriended. What follows is Ronan's attempts at reconnecting with her daughter Dodo, who is actually Dom's child, and her attempts at warding off the curse of the Mother Buddha. I would tell you more, but that would be spoiling the rest of the movie for those of you still wanting to watch this movie. So I'll stop here and try to focus on the thing that I made this video for in the first place, the Mother Buddha. For those of you who might not have seen the film, I cannot help but notice a direct and almost synonymous parallel between Grandfather Nergul and the Mother Buddha. Sure, her association with fortune and blessings might come off as something from Zeech, but her relation to familial communities and what can best be described as an ability to not distinguish between curses and blessings all fall under the purview of the Plague Father. Not to mention that Dodo's horrific source, which I don't recommend looking at for very long, in a sense strengthens her bond with Ronan, which is again indicative of Nergal's twisted sense of love of family. Another more important thing to note, of course, would be how the Mother Buddha seeks to spread her influence through both her chant and hand gesture, which is all too similar to Nergal's goal of spreading his diseases throughout the Milky Way galaxy. Add to that the many disgusting things that appear around the film, such as the repulsive caterpillars which somewhat resemble the beasts of Nergal, though the latter tend toward being more slug-like. In any case, as a massive Warhammer 40,000 fan, I theorized that the Mother Buddha might be a greater demon of Nergal, possibly a proto-great unclean one. Alternatively, the Mother Buddha could be seen as an aspect or an early avatar of the Plague Father himself. Perhaps she is his infant or larval form, much the same way a maggot becomes a fly after gorging on meat, rotten vegetation, and other off-putting materials. This is Nurgle before he becomes the planet-conquering plague master we all know from Warhammer 40,000. Anyway, that's it for this episode of Natural Juan and this guy's wild theories. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please feel free to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell for notifications. If you would also like to support my channel and everything I do here, you can check out my Patreon, PayPal, and Gcash information in the description below. Natural Juan, out. Oh, Inquisitor, what brings you here? I'm just using my Pickcaster and my Vox recorder here to make educational videos. I swear, I'm not doing anything heretical.